Another blood-red sunset and yet another moon face, and still another 100 miles to my next resting place. Driving down the road, eyes on the horizon. Within my car, I'm all alone, but feeling good and feeling strong, knowing that this path I'm on brings me to myself. I'm driving.
Hey now all, I'm Joey C. Welcome back to another episode of Spirit Sherpa. This is the show that helps and encourages you on your journey to unlock your magic mojo. With me, as always, is the Spirit Doctor, Kelle Sparta. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Joey.
What's going on?
I have a very old friend of mine on the call today.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I do. He was one of my very first coaches in the spiritual world.
Okay.
He was the first person to say, "Come out of the spiritual closet."
So he's the one who did this.
I know, it's all his fault. So this is Daniel John Hanneman. He goes by Daniel these days. I knew him as Dan, so I'm going to try and remember to call him Daniel, but forgive me if I don't.
Well, Daniel, welcome to Spirit Sherpa.
Welcome, Daniel.
All right, yeah, that's no worries, Kelly. Either way, it's all good.
Okay. So today he's going to talk to us about his specialty, which is how to find your sacred purpose.
Ooh, that sounds pretty serious, Daniel.
Yeah, it is serious. It's serious, deep stuff.
Yeah. Well, what's that about? What is our sacred purpose? What does that mean?
The way I look at it is we're here with a soul's destiny to come back into that wholeness and wellness that we really are, into the oneness with Source that we are, and we've experienced all these lifetimes that have led up until this lifetime. Sacred purpose has to do with that deep, meaningful thing that's going to bring you back home. Everybody that I talk to spiritually, when I really dive into it, they're all saying they want to come back home. You know, so many light workers, spiritual people, they'll say, I don't even want to be here anymore. I just want to go back home. And so your sacred purpose is about that calling to come back home. And within it, it contains the opportunity for you to be with the things you need to be with in order to come back home all the way. So in other words, you have all these wounds and things you've experienced through your lifetimes, for example. So these things that have happened have been part of your journey as a soul through the soul intention that you had is when you incarnated as a soul. And then as you've gone along, you've experienced these different sense of wounding. It's an experience we've had. And then those things inform our deeper purpose as we're here and ultimately bring us back home. So it includes your life purpose, your outer purpose, which you're here to be about, and therefore the frequencies you're meant to be embodying. And then also the deep inner purpose of just really kind of quite simply just really being here now, being in the eternal presence and deepening within that by being in great energy, by being in that love and above we talk about, being in that great frequency. So that all allows us to wake up more, become enlightened, and ascend and all that stuff we talk about. So that's what your sacred purpose is.
That's awesome. I can hear people everywhere going, ooh, how do I do that? How do I do that?
Exactly. That's the next question. How does somebody get on the journey to finding their sacred purpose?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think that for me, the pathway for that and what I teach people is around meditation, there's a number of things, but that's one of the key foundations is meditation. And the reason is because with the chaotic energy and mind that we have, navigating whoa, we're in the physical, whoa, what's going on? And, I know that as a kid, for example, I had all this love and compassion and everything for people. And then the pain body started getting triggered. And I'm like, oh my God, you can't trust people. What's happening, right? It's like so many of us. And it creates all this stuff, which is just a reactivation often of old wounds from our past lives. But we come in, we're kind of open. And then we are just get so caught up in our unconscious patterns, as so many of our guests have talked about. But one of the ways to help navigate that is through meditation, a practice of meditation. I'm really a big advocate of stillness meditation. on top of doing deeper meditations, also to work with the energies that are going on for you, so that you can get lit up and your whole energy system can be woken up. And so we work through meditation. And of course, me as an intuitive and all that stuff, I tune into people and I do channeling and channel prayer and all this sort of thing to help people. And then I help people, follow this physical structure of life too, by helping give them coaching, giving them coaching to help them with that. But to answer your question is, through meditation and then also through inquiring about what is my purpose? What do you want me to do, Source Spirit? What's wanting to happen in my life today? What's wanting to happen overall? Constantly being in the connection, learning to be in the connection throughout the day as though you're doing a walking meditation. You get the downloads, you get the insights of what wants to happen each step along the way, and right on time and right on cue when you trust it. Now, if you don't trust it, you keep going with like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be doing something. What am I supposed to be doing in any area of your life? Then you stay confused and things just don't work out that well. But when you stay connected, the answers they really do. They come right on cue and it's really magical. But people have to be willing to trust that.
Yeah. My unofficial title of my blog from my walkabout was, "You want me to do what?" Because it was this constant thing of, oh, you should give away everything you own. And I'm like, what? Oh, you should. Yeah, we're not going to let you have a place to live. What? Yeah, you should go to this festival and tell your boss that you're not coming back. What? It's like, at no time did they say we're sending you on walkabout, but there was like all of these instructions along the way that just came through, and I was like, okay, I was feeling called that this was the right thing to do, and it was exactly where I was supposed to be, and things were magically showing up. I scheduled my giveaway and looked in a friend's bathroom. I found a book that I opened to a random page, and it said, just before their final vision quest, the apprentice shaman will be asked to give away everything they own. And I was like, oh shit. Right. So but the messages were coming fast and furious because I was following the path, even though the whole way I'm going, you want me to do what?
Yeah.
But why? But what? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the darndest thing. I mean, because if you're really committed to the way of being that I teach, which is basically an ongoing walkabout, it's like an ongoing sort of walkabout. Which is just really just trust. What are you guided to do? Well, you don't move until you're asked to, so to speak, till you feel that impetus to move. And the mind thinks like, no, I'm smart. I got better ideas, and I know what I want. Let me just get what I want. But when you play and you actually listen more deeply to what really wants to happen, you're just amazed at how magnificent it is. It's just like, ooh, this is so amazing. People can experience it in the bedroom. They can experience it in their purpose. They can experience it in their business. They can experience it in their health. Every aspect of their life, they can experience more of it. A sense of like, ooh, this is amazing. I never would have imagined such great things are available when I trust that deeper presence to really speak to me and move through me, that things could work out so well. But the thing is there is that gap they talk about. Live in the gap, they say. Well, what do you do when you're freaking out when you're trying to live in the gap, right? So it's like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm just sitting here in the gap and nothing's happening. And that's what the mind says. So, but the truth is every single time that I live in the gap, when I deepen in that gap, something will come in and instantly tell me what to do. Like today, the thing I just told you before we got started, that idea happened today, and it was a deep, clear download instantly. Like it took no time at all. It was just like, boom, this is what it is. And then I got to clarify details, but the idea just comes in. And so many things, the best and most blissful and joyful and ultimately most productive things that I've ever done tend to come from that place. They come from that out of nowhere, like, oh, do this now, like you're talking about, Kelly. Yeah. And so it's a magical path. It's an amazing thing. And it's not hippy dippy because, you got to get focused and organized and things once you know what to do. Once it comes in, there are things to get grounded and focused on. But even within that, you're still in your walkabout. You're still listening constantly and ready to course correct at any time.
Yeah. One of the things that I talk to people about in my program is I'm like, look, especially if they're business owners, right? It's check and see what there's energy for. Is there energy for this? If there isn't, don't do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Go find the thing that you have energy for. When you think about doing it and your energy comes up, then that's what you should be working on. If you think about it and your energy disappears, then you should definitely not be working on that right now. Because even if it seems like it needs to get done, there's a reason why it doesn't.
Right.
It's like something's going to come along that's going to make it irrelevant, or that's going to change the way you'll approach it. And so all your effort right now will be wasted and you'll have to redo it or whatever. Right. So it's not just listening to the universe or your guides, but it's also listening to your body and seeing where your energy goes when you're in something. So like I've been spending the last 2 months rewriting curriculum, and I'm waiting for the energy to come up for me to do the guided meditations and the sound healing, because I started them and then the energy went away and I was like, okay. And then I bought new equipment and the energy came up a little and I went to do it and it was like, nope, not yet. I'm like, okay. So, we're in that space of, okay, when is it the right time? And there's a sort of an accordion level to the energy that comes and goes with that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to wait. I mean, I'm looking at I'm looking at waves on your background here on the video that we're doing, and it's like it's like that wave. And the thing that I think for the people I work with entrepreneurs, business owner type of people. People want to be in business as a coach or healer or light leader or whatever they might call themselves. And a lot of times, what it is like, I'm used to working my ass off to make things happen. And now you're asking me not to do that. You're asking me to slow down. What the hell is that all about? Can I trust that? And because they feel like they're not being productive, they're not getting clients. Sometimes, their money's drying up. Oh my God, something big but has to happen soon. Well, it will. It does. I'm living proof. I've been there before. Been there multiple times, actually, more than once, where it's like, oh my God, there's big new things coming in and I don't know how things are going to be provided for. And then what some people do is they just try to go to a tactic to try to fix it in their business, for example, if they're in business or in their life, whatever it is. Oh, let's try this tactic. And then when it doesn't work out, there's constant dissatisfaction. But if you would just be more patient and let it come in, the greatest thing will reveal itself. And then you'll just know. You'll know. It's not, at least that's my experience of it. Everybody's a little bit different, but you'll tend to know. You'll just know, like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And then it just all works out. It works out in the most amazing ways, including the money stuff will all drop in within that. So absolutely. Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. And, you call it a tactic. I call it a panic pivot. It's like,
yeah,
I'm going to throw this against the wall and see if it sticks. I'm going to give it exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Even though it's going to take a year to actually really come to fruition, I'm only going to give it 2 weeks because I don't trust that it's the right thing. And if it doesn't say yes immediately, I'm going to pivot to something else and throw that against the wall and give it 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah. It's a very microwave way of looking at things. And that's not where deep fulfillment and success lies.
Yeah.
You might gain some success doing those things, but they're not the deeper, fulfilling, sustainable things either. You keep like, oh my God, like I did that, that worked. Let's do it again. Oh, that's not working anymore. It's like constantly this frantic kind of mode. And like, I got it. Now I don't got it. Now I got it. Why not just have it all the time and not look at it on the outside, but to feel it in the inside? Yes, in your presence, in your body, from that deeper place. And of course, we're all human. We're going to have like, oh my God, at moments, but to ride those waves. Absolutely.
Yeah. Not giving to the monkey mind going, oh, we're going to die. We're going to be a bag lady on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's going to come and steal all of our stuff and we won't even have shoes.
Right. And take absolutely everything. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Be laughing at me and mocking me, and then
right. Exactly.
I'll be killed again. And so, why is this life worth it in the first place?
Yes.
The usual stuff that
whole misery we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah, exactly. All the persecution they've experienced, and what's the point, and stuff like that. So the point is to deeply wake up, so that you can come home ultimately as the destination. But if you just look at trying to check out, then no, you're just constantly checking out. that's not going to get you in, you know. So you got to get in order to get in. We keep saying out, but it's really to get in is what they really want.
Yeah.
Well, and it's easy to say, you know, stick with it. It's going to hold up. But it's not always easy to do, especially when you're in the mode of trying to find that and trying to touch on that. What are some ways that folks can really start to go in and stay in for longer? Is it a gradual process? Do you just say, no, you're in, you gotta lock yourself in there, stay with your thing for a year and give it that long instead of the 2 weeks? What's the process that people would do as they're starting out?
I mean, it's a commitment to just totally trust no matter what. It's a total commitment. That's something that people need to know.
Yeah.
You have to have a total commitment. It's not like, well, I just might go back to a job. Like, you know, I'm not, or I'm just going to go back to my old ways. And I mean, you can live a superfluous, maybe somewhat happy life without doing the deeper stuff. Maybe for a while, but for a lot of people, time's up. When your soul is been cooked to a certain temperature, so to speak, it's like, it's time to wake up. And a lot of people are feeling that right now. It's time to wake up. There's no more fooling around. You know, you were able to get away with that for a while, but, you know, you can't be on vacation forever, so to speak, from your deeper purpose.
And the alarm clock is screaming.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it feels like there's like this big death scream by the collective right now. And everything that needs to be exposed is being exposed so that the light can come to it, so that the greater healing that we're looking for can happen. Because again, we know we're all interconnected. So wherever there's healing happening anywhere, it's happening everywhere. And we can feel it. Although your listeners, especially, they're empathic people, right?
Oh, totally.
They can all feel it. We can feel what's going on. So we just have to trust the light is coming in deeper, but it is going to expose more darkness and may bring the sense of more darkness for us at times, like now, right? Mm-hmm. You know, but people can feel it too, because so many light workers I talk to, they're like, they feel some excitement throughout this whole phase as well. Like, oh my God, it's happening. Oh, and that's their signal that things really are progressing. Things, believe it or not, are on the right track. I mean, even as crazy as it seems. So ultimately things are on the right track for us collectively and even individually, really, but collectively. And we're just to play our part.
There was time in my life where I was really sad that I had chosen to be born when I was, because I wanted to be a flower child in the 60s. And I was like, but why did I pick so much later? And now I'm going, yeah, baby, I picked the right time. You know?
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Like, okay, now I get it. Now I understand. In terms of how, from my side, I absolutely agree that commitment is required. And this is one of the things that people who come from a challenged childhood can have a challenge with, because commitment feels like getting stuck or trapped. And so, you know, this is where we have to do some work to get to a point where we can commit to things. Yeah. And in addition to the commitment, there's also the need to trust the universe. Because if you don't trust the universe, no amount of commitment in the world is going to make a difference. It's just going to be, you'll commit to going down a random path rather than waiting for the right answer to come. And you'll know when the right answer is there, because every spark of your being is going, yes. And sometimes you'll get a, yeah, there's some energy here. There's some, but it's not a yes, you know? So you have to sit with the some and see what parts of the sum energy are yours. Because you've got an idea, but it's off focus. You know, it's not looking in the right direction. You're looking at a slice of the idea instead of the whole idea. And that's why you have some energy, but not all the energy.
Right. You're getting a glimpse into something you're supposed to be aware of right now. And it may not even be something that wants to happen. You don't know yet. And you get to know by continuing to be with it. That's the beauty of it. Because I've had the most glorious ideas come to me, you know, when I'm meditating and not meditating, thinking, oh, that's it, only for it to pass away like a cloud.
Yeah, so I've had that experience too.
That can be true too.
Yeah.
We can get ideas that are there to clear up some old energy. And then once they're gone, they're gone, just because it was just like a little energy bubble that came up, like, whoa, that's it. That's my answer. And I just fly right by. So when it sticks around, that's when, you know there's something to it. And sometimes you do instantly know. You just know it's right. Like in your body, the big thing is in your body. In your body, deep down inside, you feel it's right. Does it feel undeniable?
Yeah.
Then you know. Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you're right with the commitment thing. That is a big thing. Like commit, I'm going to get killed and persecuted again and just keep on this cycle forever. Like that's one of the fears. And like in this life, you said like, well, people from different type of backgrounds that were not conducive to trust. Right. So trust has been so deeply violated. How could I trust to commit to anything long term? Because eventually you're going to get heartbroken, you're going to get hurt or abused, et cetera. So that's where that fundamental trust needs to be instilled. And that's where the support comes in, where, yes, we can do it through meditation and on our own or through our own self-work, or you get someone to help maybe fast track you a bit, get someone to really fast track you to get you that trust so that you're able to trust that foundational trust that you really do have deep down inside. It's already there. And to really say yes to it and just have this unwavering yes to whatever amount of it that you can connect into. Yeah. I'm a yes to that. Even if I feel a little bit of it, I'm going to say yes to that. Right. And then that will help to deepen it. It's that whole focus thing you're talking about. It will expand then that trust. So you want to put that trust in that trust bank, like I like to talk about.
Yeah. And there's this fear factor that comes up for people when they think about fulfilling their purpose. They're like, it feels so big. And, I keep telling people, look, yes, we are all part of a very big process happening on the planet right now, but no one of us is completely responsible for it. We're only responsible to be our little cog in the big machine. And so when you're tapping into your purpose, you're feeling the big picture and, try and bring it into focus for just you so that you don't have to be like, it feels too big. I can't hold it. I can't do this. I'm not enough. I can't. But I want to, but I can't. Right. If you're in that state, then it's because you're looking too big. You've got to get focused on what is yours to do right now, not 10 years from now, because you won't be ready to do what you're supposed to do 10 years from now. That's what the next 10 years are supposed to prepare you for, right? So don't worry about what you're going to do 10 years from now. Worry about what you're going to do today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I got big downloads early on, and most people, a lot of people anyway, I don't know what percentage, but a lot of people will go through a phase of a Messiah phase, right? Like, I am the one, I am the teacher for the mass. I am awakening the planet. I am doing the whole thing, and I'm the one. And so what is remarkable is there's lots of people that feel that feeling.
Yes.
So if you're having that feeling and you're feeling the ego stroke of it and also the fear of it and everything else, just realize you're not alone. It's just a phase. It's just a phase. No one person really is ever the one. Not even Jesus, not even Buddha, not even whoever we talk. None of them were just the one either. None of them are just the one. We're all the one. So we have to remember we're all the one. We're just playing our own role, however big or small it looks like it is. We're playing a big role every single day right now, not some other time. Right now, we're playing a big role. And I think that helps it's a lot of psychological relief.
Yeah.
I'm already playing a big role to be of that understanding and to just feel the truth of that. Like you're already playing a big role. And the way you're going to show up on the stages or whatever it is later, all that's going to happen. And that will seem bigger in some ways, but it's happening now. And to get us out of like all that future projection stuff is really important. To realize the bigness is right now inside of us right now. It's happening now. And to get out of that time space kind of trap we put ourselves into. And that helps deepen your sense of commitment too, because you realize that's more superfluous. It's all ego driven then. Like I'm going to get to this place. We're going to get to the world to a certain place and then freeze dry it, right? Like, stop it. No, it's perfect. Just keep it there. It doesn't work that way. It's not like that. It's already perfect.
Right.
We need to embrace everything so that everything, we can experience that all as well already. So
Yeah.
that's where we're headed.
And the other piece is to notice that every time you're doing healing work for yourself, you're doing healing work for the planet.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want you to expand your healing work for yourself into the planet, because I know as empaths, that's what you're going to think. Oh, well, I'll just send this out. Don't do that. Then you're not healing yourself. You've stopped your process, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as you begin to do the work for yourself, it radiates out from you. It can't help but radiate out from you, because we are all one.
Right.
As within, so without. As without, so within. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm healing myself, I'm healing you and everyone else. If you're healing yourself, you're healing me and everyone else. And that's how that works. Don't discount doing your own work and say, well, I have to short circuit my growth process so that I can get to where I have to be, so that I can be ready to be on duty. That is your childhood talking to you again and telling you to abandon your own needs. That is not what the spiritual world requires of you. And Dan is nodding vigorously right now. So, and so, you want to stay on focus with doing your work, because that's the way that you contribute to the healing of the planet.
So we've talked about focus. We've talked about commitment. We've talked about the just immense maliciousness, which I know is probably not a word, but I like it, and I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
The significance, the size and scope of what we're doing, and not being overwhelmed by feeling the big picture and understanding your role in it is not necessarily all of it. I got to think that it helps to have a Sherpa, somebody who can help keep you focused, a sponsor to keep you on task, to make sure that you're not veering off the course to say, okay, this is too much, I'm going back to work, or I'm going back to my old ways, as you mentioned before, Daniel. Mm-hmm. There has to be value to finding someone to not necessarily walk the path with you, but to help you, because they've already walked maybe a little bit ahead. Maybe they're not all the way ahead, but that little bit ahead, that they could say, okay, I know what's coming in 20 steps. Let me help you just sort of stay as centered as possible. Is that a thing that people should be looking for?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, none of us move forward, for the most part that I've seen anyway, without the support, without some help from our brothers and sisters on the planet.
Absolutely.
We just don't. And then, of course, I mean, your main connection is with, the universe, source itself, or whatever you want to call it. But then we have our earthly people here that are obviously a big part of it. We have our animal friends. We have the planet. We have plant life. We have everything. Everything's here to support us, but we're meant to embrace all of it and let all of it help us.
Right.
It's all speaking to us. It's all here to help us. But we have to recognize it. We have to be listening. We have to deeply listen. And when we deeply listen, that's where the freedom comes. The universe is more than friendly. It loves you. It adores you. But you only experience that if you're willing to open yourself to experience that. And then you start experiencing it. It's like, wow, everything's here is trying to support me, even when it looks like it's not. When it looks like it's trying to destroy me. Like, it actually was trying to help me. Even when this horrible things happened earlier in my life. Oh, my God, my dad doing all that junk to me. He was actually trying to help me wake up. He just is playing his own unconscious role to support my paths. Oh my God. And you come to these realizations, and then you have such love and compassion for everyone. And it's like, oh my God, it's all meant, it's such a beautiful thing. Everything is really beauty in disguise.
Yeah.
All those horrible things that we've experienced, Corona or whatever, everything, it's all beauty in disguise, and all the things that we judge. So as we can embrace it, yes, we need people to have the perspective that maybe we don't quite have yet, to be able to share the truths with us that maybe we haven't really tapped into enough yet, or aren't quite aware of yet. We all know it all somewhere inside of us, but we need someone to help us energetically to be lined up with what the real truth is, and then to help us to deepen into that and to really fully say yes to that, so that what wants to come through you and wants to be experienced through you can actually just unfold, and you can have what we're talking about. And that does require some serious support, and it looks differently at different times. There's not one size fit all, right? Absolutely. It's just what's needed right now. Sometimes there are times for us to be on our own and not to take input from people. But, if you're in a place where you're feeling like that's what you're needing, you need to really listen to that and follow through on it.
Yeah. Back when Dan and I first met, he gave me a message I really needed to hear, which was come out of the spiritual closet, which I fought. I fought because I was being a business coach, and I ended up doing a healing for him at the time too, which was, I don't know, like a year later. Right. And so, we were there for each other at different times. Right. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just somebody on the street does something and says just the right thing that makes you go, bing. And sometimes it's somebody you hired to help you. And sometimes it's, the random healing you got at a retreat you went to, or, who knows, right? It all comes when it's meant to come. What you have to do is just follow your path, follow your source. Be clear about what you want, because it's very easy when you come from this sort of challenged background to not be aware of what you want. But even to, once you know what it is, to deny it and say, oh, well, I don't need to do that. Somebody else needs the money more, or somebody else needs the time more, or somebody else needs my energy more, or whatever. And I'll sacrifice myself on the altar of everybody else's happiness one more time so that I can be that Messiah, that savior. And, in the process, destroy myself. And that does not serve you or anyone else. I know you think you're serving others, but you're really not, because you're not following the path that is there for you to follow. And you would serve so many more people if you followed that path.
Well, even those people you think you're serving, you'll serve better. Right. Because otherwise, what do they call it? Codependency, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you just keep enabling these old patterns for yourself and others. And then they just feel like you're like, well, they always just take advantage. Well, you keep putting it out there. Of course, they're going to keep taking advantage. But if you would stop doing that, but they'll suffer. But I've experienced that. I've experienced that with family members where I just stopped certain patterns. And you're right, they did suffer, but I have a long-term view. I'm like, whether it's this life or another life or some other iteration, they're going to get it. But me being caught up in that isn't serving them ultimately in the long run, maybe not even the short run. And ultimately, it's going to sabotage certainly my ability to impact more lives like you're talking about, Kelly. Absolutely.
Yeah. The key, I would say, is follow your gut. When your body says yes, that's the right thing to do. When your body says no, then don't do it. Even if it looks amazing. If your body goes, I don't know, or ugh, trust your body's response. It knows.
Yes. And
now let me be clear. Some paths, especially if you're stepping onto a really in-depth path, some paths are going to feel scary.
Yes. Now,
scary is okay. Scary is, in fact, a really good indicator, because if you're not scared, you're not going to be doing anything, right? The path is not going to challenge you. So scared is a good indicator. Ick or no energy at all, those are bad indicators. Okay. So let's be clear about it. If it's excitement or fear, you're golden. Anything else? Probably not.
Mm-hmm. It can be good indications, right? Yeah. We're just trying to give people pointers. It's hard to give you any absolute truth because it can show up in different ways. But, just those are good indicators, is that if you're scared to death and excited, boy, those are the really good ones. If you got, that's a really good one. So that's where the growth is. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you feel great resonance with what you're looking at, then that's going to be a good one for you. Mm-hmm. That's how Dan and I met. We were like, yeah, we really get along. This is awesome.
Yeah, right? You just know that there's a soul connection and that you're meant to be together or to help each other or whatever it is at the time. And right. And you just know. So you got to follow that.
Daniel, are there places that people can reach out, follow the work that you're doing? Maybe it's Twitter, maybe there's somewhere where you're visible that if they're like, this is a guy I want to keep an eye on. This is somebody who I think is someone I want to make myself energetically around, where could people find you?
Yeah, there's a couple of places I'll refer people to. They can go, of course, to my website, which is yoursacredpurpose.com, yoursacredpurpose.com. They can get my Meditate and Make Money meditation, which really works. It works well for me, and it works for others that I'm hearing back from. I don't hear back from everybody, but people are using it. I mean, I have one person using it that said, and she's been using it for months, and she just keeps seeing more and more money come in, and just on that free meditation alone. So you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com, and then there's also an opportunity to meet with me. I tune into people and give you a consultation, so there's an opportunity to do that there as well. And then I select people intuitively based on your application, what I'm feeling, if we're supposed to really be meeting or not, but you have that opportunity there. Another thing for people to consider is if they want to connect with me more in depth, and here's a guy to keep an eye on social media. Probably a really good place to do that for them would be to go to my Rock Your Sacred Purpose Facebook group, because I go in there, I do Facebook Lives, I share a little bit of other content, but mostly I do a lot of number of Facebook Lives, and people, that are really fans of mine really, really love those Facebook Lives that I talk about all these different kind of subjects. So to help you to rock your sacred purpose.
And you've got a new podcast coming out, right?
And I already have my podcast out this year. Yeah, I've got the Spiritual Rockstar podcast. So you definitely want to check that out. We've got James Twyman's been on, Deborah Poneman, Mark Allen. I don't know if a lot of people have heard of him, but he published the first book for Eckhart Tolle of his Power of Now. And, he's just amazing. So, but anyway, we have a lot of amazing guests that come on that show, and we definitely talk about these things there as well, and much more.
Awesome.
Can I persuade you to do a channeled message for my audience?
Sure, absolutely. So what I'll do is I'm going to get centered, and just whatever comes through, comes through. Sometimes it's just a sense of me connecting with all the guidance, and whatever comes through, comes through. Sometimes I'll get like a specific guide or angel or whatever, and I'll announce who they are, and then I'll have them speak. So, but yeah, I'll ask them to keep it brief, but we'll just do a quick one. And people, I think, will really feel the energy and enjoy that. So, all right, great. So if we're ready, we'll just go ahead and do that. I'm going to do just a moment of vocal toning, and then I'll be getting right into it in a moment. Come back home to love. You are the one of the many faces that you see on your social media, in your daily life, are just flashes and images of all reflections of the one. Remember this and keep your heart open. The pathway to your deeper awakening is in the heart space. You must see to the center of all of it and see the love that's there that interconnects all of us. This pathway of awakening and ascension is the lifeblood that keeps you on your sacred path. Feel it, sense it in your heart. Feel that interconnected line within your heart that connects all hearts. Know you're at home and centered, so that your empathic tendencies can come to rest and be used most effectively as the gifts that they are. Mother Mary, go gentle upon yourself, my child. In the smallest ways, your loving kindness does make a difference. Those big, bold leaps are not that far off. Trust the small steps, these simple steps. I'm here to comfort you. I'm here to give you nurturance. I'm here to support your awakening, that you're gentle with yourself. You're compassionate and kind for yourself. Do it by being so kind and compassionate for others. For all is one. Thank you. Archangel Michael, you are whole, you are well, you are a decision maker. You can be decisive, you can be clear, you can cut off those things, let go of those relationships, let go of that stuff that you're hanging on to. Be bold, be fearless. As you open the space to create, you'll know that everything is possible, but you must let go. Cut those things out of your life. You don't need that extra stuff. You don't need those extra carbs. You don't need all that stuff. You don't need it. Be a decisive, clear, empowered tool for Source. Be decisive and clear. Know my insight is here to help you be decisive and clear. Feel, yes, that blue ray flowing through your chakras down to the core of the earth. And it holds you and has you in that decisive, clear energy. All is available when you let this energy decide to make the decision now. Thank you. And the overall guidance is saying, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you. Be clear on that which comes from the deeper space within. Truly, yes, meditate, make money, enjoy your life. Just enjoy your life. Enjoy the life essence that you are. There's nothing better. There's not a better. That's the old ego story. There is no better. There's the depth within. We're here to support you, to connect you into it. So is Daniel, so is Kelle, so are all that you're connecting with. We're here to support you. We're so grateful for you listening today. You have magic inside you beyond what you could ever possibly imagine. Enter into these waters in the depth of the infinite and watch what unfolds. Miracles and magic await your arrival in these waters. Let it unfold for you. Trust going deeper within and watch it unfold. Thank you. May you be well.
If you could hear what's going on over here, we're having big thunder that came through just as you said, may you be well. Boom. and my microphone turned off, but there was a boom. The universe was like, and so it is.
Yes. I love it. Yes.
All right. Well, Kelle, I'm not even going to ask you if there's anything you want to say to sum it up. I think that sort of did it right there.
I did it.
All right. Well, folks, if you've got thoughts or feelings or impressions from this episode, be sure to go into the Facebook group, Spirit Sherpa Podcast After Party Facebook group. Let us know what you're thinking about what you heard today and everything that Daniel has shared with us. That was really, really cool, by the way, Daniel. Thank you so much. And thank you both. And unless there's anything else you want to say, Kelle, I think we're good.
We're good.
All right. That's all that we have for this week, folks. But be sure to join us next time as Kelle adds another chapter into your guide to energy, magic, and the spirit world. I'm Joey C. here with Kelle Sparta and Daniel Hanneman, and you have been listening to Spirit Sherpa. So long, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Travel over 13,000 now. I'll leave behind a little fear.
Spirit Sherpa is the sole property of Kelle Sparta Enterprises and is distributed under Creative Commons BY-NC-ND 4.0 license. For more information about this licensing, please go to creativecommons.org. Any requests for deviations to this licensing should be sent to KELLE@KELLESPARTA.com. That's Kelly@KelleSparta.com. To sign up or to get more information on the programs, offerings, and services referenced in this episode, please go to KelleSparta.com. This episode of Spirit Sherpa has been produced by Honu Voice Productions.